siblings, grandparents. Do you know how many? I'm going to tell you something else. Like in this church that you don't know about, that you sit beside them every Sabbath. And do you know why some people can hug you and others don't hug you? Yeah. It's because there is something about you that reminds them about something about the person who did something to them that they don't like. Do you know why some people can't respond to Pastor Snell or any other preachers? He could preach for the rest of his life, but they won't. Because those people didn't come to church to hear a sermon. They came to church to get away from themselves, from being lonely, silent, and in the dark. So yeah, that stuff it's amazing stuff that happens to children when trusted people do things like that to what your dad did. Right? What your dad did, really. Yes.
And she was saying that when she got older, well, first her father molested her repeatedly, and her mother, she allowed it, knowing what was going on. So when she became older, she thought she had, forgiven them, and but she said the Holy Spirit said your parents are getting older. Now I want you to take care of them. And she said her flesh just recoiled. You know what I'm saying? And she said she actually had to start doing the act and let the feeling follow. And she had to surrender that thing repeatedly. So she had the forgiveness was repeated. She had to surrender it to God, and then when the thought came up again in her mind, she had to surrender it again, and then again. And in the meantime, she just had to keep doing the actions that a person that forgave them would do. Take care of them, do everything. And she said, I'm up in the pulpit and I'm preaching the word. I've written books on forgiveness. But she found her flesh recoiling, her flesh stepping back from this thing. Where she had come to a place where she really thought she had overcome the hurdle. So sometimes it's repeated, what I'm getting at is repeat surrender. Because you can't do it in and of yourself.
Right. Thank you for that. Let me just say something here. Forgiveness. Do you know how easy it is to walk away from a person that is not close to you and get angry at that person? Do you know when forgiveness is hardest? The closer you are emotionally or socially or spiritually to a person, the more difficult it is to forgive the person. Look, this is what we do with this is what we do to people that we're not close to when we feel hurt. We drop it and we walk away. And we go this way, and we walk away. And then next week, we find ourselves, we got to go over here, but then we got to go past this thing we dropped. And when we go past this thing, it reminds us of what happened because it dropped and nothing happened. And we keep doing that. We keep dancing back and forth. But with folks that we are close to, what we find ourselves doing is projecting onto them, back onto them, the hurt that we think they caused us. Everything that a person do to you, does not mean that they intended for it to hurt you. But here's the deal. Intention or unintention does not change the outcome. Mm-hmm. And what happens here is we focus on the outcome because the outcome is what we have to deal with. And when we find ourselves to people that are closest to us, one of the reasons we find it hard to forgive them is because we feel that they did not value us the way we value ourselves or the way we wanted them to value us. Now, here's the deal on that. Just because a person does not value you the way you want them to value you does not mean they have the capacity to value you like that. Just because your spouse does not do everything that you expect a spouse to do because you read it in 12 different books does not mean that your spouse has the capacity to fulfill that need the way you want that need to be fulfilled. And because you read that they should in 12 books, you now begin to vilify that person because they don't live up to the book. unfortunately, Pastor Snell said I'm supposed to be done at 7:15 because that's when the children are out. And it's 7:16, so I'm going to take two real quick. And then I got one last thing to say, and then we're going to close out. Yes, sir. No, you were here first.
I was deferred.
Okay.
You're so kind.
That's true.
I just wanted to, mine's not hypothetical. When I heard the young man mention a hypothetical situation about his father being an alcoholic, about the dishes not being clean, and maybe one or two dishes were in the sink, that happened to me. When I was, before going to college, I had an alcoholic dad, a stepdad, and so me and my sister and I, we used to just have some songs that he didn't know about that were just for him. But what God did for me was, I don't know if anybody remember when Toby went away, but we had something about our dad was going away, but the Lord has, he helped us through that. And so when it was time for me to go to college, I mean, it was so bad, no child wanted to see their parent hit. No child. No. See their mother hit. But you have no control. That's right. And so I was the quiet one, so I didn't get as hit as much as my sister. She had them out. But we learned and we talk about this.
Are you the oldest child?
Yes. Yes. Yes, the smarter child.
There is this thing they call the oldest child syndrome. Really?
And so what happened was, when I went away to college, I still wanted to have a relationship with my dad. So I wrote a letter. Now I was 18 years old, and I wrote 18 years worth of stuff in that letter. I can't tell you how many pages, but I wrote everything that he did to us. And I'm here today to tell you, I have the best relationship with my stepdad. Amen. Because it's possible. It's once you forgive, because once he read, he had no choice, because the letter was in the mail. So he read it in his own time. And so once he read that, everything was, I'm telling you, he called me. Now, thank God I was away at Hampton, because I don't know what would have happened if I was closer to home. But I took that opportunity, and I'm just thankful to the Lord that letter helped us to develop a relationship. And now my dad calls me every day. Not every day, he calls me every week. And so it's possible. It is so possible, no matter what type of relationship you had when you were a child, God can work that, can change that. And I just wanted to let you know there is possible.
It is possible.
Amen.
Very briefly, at age 35, I realized I was carrying a 35-year grudge against my father. My mother's always the outgoing person in public, my father behind the scenes. I wanted to have that kind of a persona. And so therefore I spent the majority of my childhood and adult life trying to find that persona. In 1989, I really gave my life back to God, trying to get things right. And it happened one Friday evening that my first babysitter happened to be in town in Chicago. And I picked her up to take her to the airport. And we were talking, and she was sharing stories with me when I was a kid. And I said, really? My father said that? My father did that? And she sensed my pain. She said, Tim. She said, Timmy. She said, when it comes to understanding your father, understand, do not mistake his meekness for weakness. All my life I've been looking for role models, for these men images, and my father was right there in front of me, and I was so busy trying to find somebody else. And so when I went home that Christmas, came home, I had to, after family worship, sit down and say, Dad, I apologize. I need to forgive myself for looking for something else. And she said to me, she said, Tim, there's not a single decision in your house that your father did not rubber stamp. Your mother may have been the one out front making the pronouncements, but nothing happened in that house that Uncle Tom did not say was all right. And she started tracking through things that were in my childhood that I didn't realize that he was behind it, but he was not up front. So some of the forgiveness, some of the anger we have is phony.
Okay. And I just, and I'm gonna be done. I want to be respectful of Pastor Snell. But I like to